What's up, my construction entrepreneurs? Tyrone Jones here with the Construction Entrepreneur School and Services. A little nippy here in the little sunny city of California. It's nippy this morning, man. Hey, so I got a question in from someone leaving a comment. It was Robert Nazario. And he says, talk a little bit about business setup. Man, there's so much with that, right? Man, where do I start with business setup? So, I can touch on a little bit about business setup from, setting up your license, to basically filling out an application on the CSLB website, looking up contractor's license application, filling that out, submitting it with the fee that they require, and going from there, and then setting up to pay the test, get your license, and start working, getting your insurances and working. But I think the biggest thing is starting to do business right away. Anyone that has had their license did business before they had their license. All of us are guilty of this, right? So it's just starting, right? And learning how to deal with customers, clients, people that work with you, how to find employees, how to work through the challenges of not having cash, how to work through the challenges of problem solving, dealing with tough clients, inspectors. Well, you may not have to deal with inspectors with not having a license, but you get what I'm saying. I think on that next level, outside of, working, just starting to work and trying to provide for your family before you become legit, the next step is becoming legit, getting your license, getting quotes for insurance. I know when I was trying to get quotes for insurance, I was very afraid to get insurance because I didn't know how to get it. I didn't know where to look. I didn't know if I was getting good prices, bad prices, or what, But as I dug into it and I learned more and started asking different people questions, I learned that, hey, I got burned on this. Oh, go here for this, So you got to get into the game. And once you become legit, you get your license or team up with someone that does have a license to where you can become legit. You start searching around, getting better deals for insurance, And a good rule of thumb is that when I was calling around to others in the industry for things that I needed, that I did not have or even know about, I started the conversation that, hey, I need your help. I'm not familiar with this topic. I'm calling about this. I'm not familiar with this topic. I even do that now. If there's something, a project, an item, something that I do not know about, but I need, I will call vendors and say, hey, I'm not familiar with this. So you're going to have to help me out to understand this, but this is what I think I need. And usually people are trying to be helpful and give information, especially when you start the conversation off with, can you help me? So learn how to get quotes. Learning, another big thing is learning how to properly write up proposals and contracts, right? Not mainly contracts. You're only doing contracts with, I can send everybody a contract. I believe I had contracts on my website when my website was up. I forget how much I was selling contracts for, but I had contracts on my website. Getting contracts I don't think is a problem. Legally binding contracts might be an issue, especially once you get into doing some big work here. But other than that, keeping it simple, learn how to write up proposals is key. Okay, so basically, and I did a proposal writing class. Check that out. I believe that is on YouTube. What else can I talk about with this business setup? Finding work, right? One of the things we got to realize is that depending on what range of work that we're in, whether we're operating in a capacity as a subcontractor or as a general contractor, there's a certain place that you can find work, okay? A lot of the places that are advertising to us for jobs are usually areas or jobs for subcontractors. Okay, if you're bidding as a general contractor and you need to go to a place where owners submit projects, okay, you got to understand that. So a lot of times, a lot of these publications are these areas where you can find jobs and you pay for subscriptions. Those publications or those subscriptions that you're signing up for are projects that we bid as subcontractors. And most times, 99.9% of the time, is not an environment for general contractors, because general contractors, you're looking for owners, clients that are submitting a project that is looking for GCs, okay? And I'll do a video on that as well. So looking for work, where do you find work? What type of work you want to do? Is figuring that out, and then next is, my biggest thing is setting up 30-day net accounts as soon as possible. What does that mean? That means that going to Home Depot, trying to set up a personal account, you don't have to try to set up a commercial account. Set up the personal account, use it, pay it, but set up different accounts. Set up from usually your local rental yard would also give you an account. They'll probably start you off with a cash account. You pay that on time, then they'll start you off with a 30-day net account, okay? Use these accounts. Use these, even if you got cash accounts, use those accounts for your benefit. Take care of them because you're going to need them down the road. I've used cash accounts to help set up 30-day net accounts. So you got to get into setting up accounts. That is big. The reason why you have to get into setting up business accounts and 30-day net accounts, which means that you go and get the equipment, you don't have to pay until 30 days. The reason why is because you cannot continue to pay for jobs that you do not own. That's the biggest thing. We spend too much money on projects that we do not own, and we're waiting to get paid. So we're allowing our money to fund projects that we have not been paid for. You want to avoid that at all costs. The only thing that you should be spending on a project that's not your project. What I mean by not your project, you don't own this Starbucks. So you should not be paying money out of your pocket before whatever contractor is building this Starbucks pays you, right? So you set up these accounts. You set up drywall accounts, concrete accounts, lumber accounts. Whoever has the material, you set up accounts. Get the account set up so you don't have to pay your money out of pocket to get the material. That's the biggest advantage. That's what stops us from going after a lot of projects, because we have to fork over the money to get this stuff going. And you want to avoid that. So in the beginning, you gotta start setting up accounts. Start setting up the cash accounts, okay? Every contractor's credit is bad until you can get to a place where you're doing great work, consistent work, and you can build on it, okay? So your credit is always going to be bad in the beginning for the most part, until you learn how to take care of it and establish it, and then know how to manage the risk. Don't get your tail caught. So setting up those accounts is crucial, okay? Even if it's a fuel account. I used to have a fuel card back in the day. I jacked that up, but I had a fuel card. I used my fuel card account to help me get other accounts. So as many accounts you can set up, whether it's cash accounts to get to credit accounts, is the key, okay? Don't take out a loan. Okay, especially these so easy to get loans nowadays. I did those. I did those loans years ago, and those loans, they give you a lot of money. They give you a lot of money, and they require payment every week. It's just hard money cash, or hard money loan, or whatever it is. But it's tough to pay off, and you don't want to have a loan over your head while you're trying to grow your business, because that's a payment that you always have to make, even if you don't have work. What I suggest is that you set up a bank account, okay, and you establish a relationship with your bank to where they allow you to get a line of credit. Okay, you get a line of credit, and then that allows you to use that line of credit when you need to use it, and when you get paid, you can pay that line of credit off, and then you can continue to revolve with that line of credit. Okay, using credit cards. Credit cards is another good friend. Okay, using credit cards. Pay off the credit cards as soon as you get paid. Credit cards is also, I've used and still use as a form of a credit account. You know, there's certain things we have to pay with credit cards. I use credit cards for everything. Okay, I use credit cards to fund my life. You know, I don't use my money. I pay my money later. Keep your money as much as possible, but don't allow these credit cards, especially these terrible ones that we can only get in the beginning, to ruin you. Pay them off so you don't have to have that interest there. Okay, so use a credit card. If you don't have a credit account, right, with an equipment supplier, material supplier, or whatever supplier you use to get your work done, use credit cards. Okay, but be responsible and pay them off so you can always have them. Okay, and that's the deal here. I'm going along with this one. Let me know if I touched on quite a bit. There's so much to share with business setup, man. I can go on forever, but maybe I'll do a part 2 to this. Let me get back to it, get some coffee, get on the road here, spend this day. And my construction entrepreneurs, hustle hard, then hustle harder. We'll catch you on the next one.